In 2008, three complete strangers were put together with the hopes of creating the greatest Sony podcast ever heard. Today, unable to stop podcasting, the show survives as connoisseurs of dick and fart jokes. If you need Sony news, are not deaf, and don't want to die of boredom, maybe you can listen to Big Red Barrel Blue.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 25 of the Big Red Barrel PlayStation Podcast, episode 195 of The Blue Show, joining you from very, very moderately warm, comfortable Eugene, Oregon. I'm Rothbart.
Wow.
Unemployed in San Diego, we have Frawls.
Wait, that's your intro? That's it?
Yes, it's comfortable here. That's all people need to know. We need to focus on your employment status. How's the workplace going?
The lack of workplace, you mean?
I need to point something out. Usually we spend a few minutes chit-chatting before we record. We'll send some funny links back and forth. Since Frawls has been not working, it's useless to send him any funny links because he's already seen them earlier in the day.
I've already seen them. They're old. You got nothing to do but sit there and hit refresh. Well, I lost internet today, so I can't refresh too much, so I have to rely on the current porn on my hard drive, which is very small. Compared to what I used to have in the mid-2000s, now it's like a file that I accidentally saved. I'm like, okay, I guess I have to use that tonight. But anywho, seriously though, on a serious note, like, I'm unemployed, so I started doing creative things to kind of keep myself busy. One of them was doing stand-up the other day.
It's Wednesday.
I got in front of... Huh?
It's Wednesday of the first week of your unemployment.
Tuesday. Huh?
You've been unemployed less than a week.
I know. I'm getting bored.
And your first way that you thought of to kill time was stand-up comedy, not playing some of the video games that you have lying around your crib. It was, you know what? I could be a stand-up comic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, man, I'm laughing.
What's the ratio of money people pay you to stay on stage versus the money people pay you to get off the stage?
Did they laugh or did you bond? Like, did they get the guy to come out with the cane and pull you off stage or what?
Oh no! So I went. Let me just tell you briefly what happened. So Huda19 lives across this building from me, basically, right?
Does he have a job?
Does
he have a job?
Yeah, no, he's got a job. He's okay. Everybody's got a job but me. Nobody even feels bad for me. And the worst part is nobody buys me drinks. Like, they know I'm unemployed. They're like, yeah, good luck with that bill. I'm like, dude, I bought a round. You got to buy a round too. This is how it works. Thanks for the beer, Frawls. Good luck. It's pretty funny because like he's doing stand up for a while now, and he's always going to open mics, which don't pay anything. It's just kind of fun to get up there and test new material out. So he asked me to sign up with him, so I did. What is so funny?
You're testing your material out, yet you've never done this before.
I don't know. I was going to see what it's like to get up in front of live people. It's another thing to be on a podcast and talking to a thick black mic in your mouth and talk to you guys on the phone. But I wanted to get up in front of live audience and just kind of do it. So I got a little nervous, and I was trying to mask it by drinking a little bit. I drank a little too much. Getting up on stage, and apparently 3 minutes goes by within 3 minutes. Like, it just felt like it was a second.
That's
but they actually walked me off the stage because I took too long. But it was fun. I would do it. I'm totally gonna do it again. It was an experience that I would totally I would recommend it for anybody to go up there and do it during open mic night because nobody's there, and I don't know. It was fun. I have no real funny recollection of it. It's just.
Yeah, that story sucked.
I'm trying to figure out which stinks more, my office or your story.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Well, it wasn't really a
Melon
story.
Burst. Your story.
It wasn't my best one ever. Sorry.
It was your story. It stunk more.
Like you got to share one of your jokes with us at least.
Yeah, pretend we're an empty room and you're drunk.
No, I'm not doing jokes. I don't want to do jokes right now. All right, one of them was about, Well, one of them was just, like, I'm a big guy, and just people automatically assume that I'm big everywhere, and it's just kind of it's an awkward moment when, like, you're about to hook up with a girl and she pulls out Magnum condoms, just assuming. It's not like you can, take it back. You obviously have to go through that awkward trying on stage, like when you're younger. Like, grandmother gives you a shirt that's obviously too big, and you're just kind of like, all right, I'll make it work for a second, and then, yeah, it's embarrassing just to, I don't know. I haven't worked that one out yet.
Are we talking about the joke or the condom problem?
That was actually the joke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss.
Yeah.
Anyway, how you doing, Pac-Man? I don't know. I'm hashing things out, man. This is what it's for. I'm practicing. I have a lot of jokes I want to say.
No, you can't use this show to practice for your non-job. That's not allowed.
Anyways, speaking of, Pac-Man?
Yeah?
How's your employment situation?
Save me.
Well, I'm actually sick enough that I get help from the government, so I'm doing okay.
Do you get a handicap sticker?
What? No, I don't get a handicap sticker. Because
they're like, wow, he looks exactly like the guy on the handicap sticker.
That doesn't even make sense. He's got a wheelchair, doesn't
he? Yeah, but he's really thin.
I know why they pushed you off stage, Rawls.
Shut up, man. I don't ever want to do stand-up again now.
I mean, that was a good joke. Implying I was a stick figure. But if anyone hasn't already gone to the front page of Big Red Barrel, it was Pac-Man Polar Bear Day today, and or Sleeping Dogs Day.
Sleeping Dogs Day.
I dropped a review on BRB today that was... it's a wall of text. If you actually read my full Sleeping Dogs review, bravo to you, because it's not a quick read. And I also posted about 11 or 12, I can't remember. I think it's 11 tips for completing the game, because it's only been a week and I got platinum in that game. I don't get a lot of platinums. I think I have 5 or 6 on my PSN account, and I platinum Sleeping Dogs in a week. So check out the tips. God. The tips article that's on Big Red Barrel right now, if you're looking for some help. And if anyone out there's got some issues with Sleeping Dogs, they want to know how to do something or find something, feel free to hit me up, post in the comments under the articles, or hit me up on Twitter. It'd probably be easier to use the website, just so I can type more than 140 characters to answer you. But I've platinumed Sleeping Dogs, and I'm still playing Sleeping Dogs, at least until Transformers arrives, because it's coming from online, so it didn't come on Tuesday. But speaking of Sleeping Dogs, if anyone looked at that DLC that got released, you're paying for cheat codes. You're not even paying for content. You're paying for things you already have, that's already available to you. But if you want to just buy upgrades that you can get relatively quickly in the game, they were like $1.99 each.
That's exactly what they're. Yes, sorry.
So out of all the stuff that's available right now, the only thing that's actual content is, I think, the Triad Pack, which gives you a costume and a vehicle. The rest of the pre-order DLC isn't available yet, but all the other Sleeping Dog DLC, it stinks the way some of the Saints Row DLC did too. It's basically giving you the ability to buy progression in a single-player game, which is just wrong. But other than that, everything's good.
I picked up Sleeping Dogs for the PC with the high-res pack you were talking about. And the reason I did is because Dark Wanderers sent me a link to where I could get the game from Steam for $36, which that's a deal. I couldn't turn that down.
Well, I mean, as much as I love Sleeping Dogs and I don't regret getting it on PS3, the PC version is significantly better looking. It's not like it's a little better looking; it's a lot better looking. Even though I've heard on the PC that some of the storefronts still look a little shaky.
It makes me feel like more of a man having this version.
Hell yeah! Well, the other thing is, by getting it on PC, that game's definitely going to get modded by somebody.
It's really good looking. I mean, I haven't seen any full resolution streams or anything of the console versions, but the PC version looked good. And then I realized it didn't even have the high def texture pack, so I downloaded that, and it looks even better. So
yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I have not completed everything, despite having it for a few days. So your pace
I
is
haven't
insane.
been that addicted to a game in a while. But are you enjoying it?
Oh, I'm having a blast. Yeah, it's fun. GTA Hong Kong.
Hell yeah!
So
right. Far, it managed to entertain, and there's no flying jets or driving tanks or dildo bats or any of that kind of stuff needed. It's it's smaller than the other two, Saints Row or GTA, but what it's got, it does good, and I really enjoyed it. And the coolest thing of all is I tweeted Will Yun Lee, who's the guy who plays Wei Shen in the game, and he tweeted back to me and said, thank you for, giving me a shout out and whatever. It was cool. Actually, he says, very flattered, but it was an effort between Front
Did
Games,
you read it? Very flattered.
Peter Abram, and Square Enix. And he can't wait to he actually hasn't even played his own game
very
yet.
frauded.
He doesn't have an accent, bro.
I'm so frauded.
And that's racist.
You like that game? No, it's not. It's an impersonation.
Let's get on this agenda we've got. I took the time to write it. We could talk about Fralls' unemployed exploits all night.
Yeah, my God.
Did I mention Fralls doesn't have a job?
Yeah, shut up, man. Do you imagine that you got promoted to do nothing again? You're going to give me more money to do less? Absolutely. 4chan, another hour. Here we go. That's Rothbart's life right there. Hey, check out this pooping site I found. Dude,
wait a minute. Who sent who a recipe or a video of somebody making a cake out of excrement?
Yes, somebody made a cake. Yes, I found a link I was going to send you.
No, that wasn't you, like a cue for you to go off on this. You were blaming me for doing crap. You did that.
This is once I send you something. You have sent me more shock sites than I know what to do with. And then you start quoting dirty versions of... I don't know, it could get dirtier, but you start quoting dirtier versions of 50 Shades of Grey. It was definitely 50 Shades of Rothbart. It was
50shadesgenerator.com. Kids, don't go there.
No, you were writing these down. These came out of your brain.
Copy and paste. Let's move on to this agenda that I wrote, because we could talk about your unemployment anytime.
I'm going to read some of 50 Shades of Rothbart in a little bit for the bonus content.
All right. Sony had some sad news. Actually, they didn't even tell us. The gaming industry told us, but Sony did something that made a lot of people sad. They closed Studio Liverpool, which previously was known as Psygnosis or Psygnosis. Those guys have been in business making games for 28 freaking years. That is a long time. And when they were shut down, they were rumored to be working on a Wipeout game and a Splinter Cell type game. They didn't. Nobody knows what the name of that one was, but they were presumed to be PlayStation 4 launch titles. It kind of sucks because the Wipeout games have been pretty much a staple, and they own the rights to the franchise, and they can still put out Wipeout games. But the studio that designed and had been working on them is no more. And their last game was Wipeout for the PSV. So I went on Wikipedia and looked at some of the games they worked on, and it's like a who's who of my favorite games growing up back from as far as when I had my Amiga. I just wanted to go through a list here real quick. This is off their list. Yes, Rawls?
No, just go ahead.
Were you reading job descriptions on the employment site?
No, shut up. I'm talking about how old you are. You're like, they invented Jim Rummy.
Shut up. Okay, so Agony, Assault Rigs, Awesome, Ball, Barbarian, Blood Money, Colony Wars. Hey, Fralls, you played Colon Wars. Destruction Derby, Formula One, G-Police, Hired Guns, Killing Game Show, Leander, Lemmings. Everybody's heard of Lemmings. Menace, Nova Storm, Rollaway, Roll Cage, Shadow of the Beast. God, a lot of people played that, I bet. Walker, Wipeout. All of those games by this studio, now they're closed.
It's sad that they're closed, and it's also crazy to think that a development house stayed open for 28 years.
And they cycled a lot of people through that studio, too. So.
Yeah, like I'm sure if you look back through someone's resume that there's probably some big names that have worked there at some point.
David Jones, the guy that made Grand Theft Auto, used to work there. He worked on Blood Money and Menace back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, there's
a lot of inspiration that came out of that.
I'd say half of those games I can actually remember playing and owning back in the day. The big standout for me is Shadow of the Beast. That game was sick.
That game looked very nice in its day.
Man, when it came out, I mean, it seems weird to kids now if you weren't young enough to see it when it came out. But when it came out, I mean, that game was like kick ass.
Yep. All right, let's move on to some less sad news. Hot Shots Golf 6, which
I'm already asleep.
On the Vita was called Hot Shots World Invitational. It's coming to the PlayStation 3. It's basically the Vita game to the PS3, coming with PlayStation Move and 1080p support. It's going to come with all the Vita's DLC built in and online play supports for players. And as I understand it, any combination of PS3 or Vita via crossplay. So
that's amazing. That's a game changer.
If you like cartoony golf, you can do a lot worse.
Yeah, that's that's going to sell PlayStation Vita systems.
If you like golf games and you don't need to have Tiger Woods, Hot Shots Golf is a decent, fun, arcadey golf game.
If you like golf but you hate the most minimalistic exercise possible, this is the game for you.
If you like golf but don't really want to play golf in a golf game. Okay, I really need to stop making jokes. Apparently, it's not even.
You got to give us forewarning that it's a joke, so we can do an old school Red Show laugh.
I'm just yeah.
Oh, good
Take
times.
us out, Pac-Man.
Oh no!
All right, Sony's crazy patents. They filed another one. This one is called, and I'm just going to read the name because it pretty much spells it out, System for Converting Television Commercials into Interactive Networked Video Games. That's the name of the patent. And in the patent body...
AKA bend over.
The patent description, the body of the text says, in a preferred embodiment... What the hell does that even mean?
I like that word.
The termination of the interactive minigame commercial is set within a fixed time period commensurate with traditional spot television advertising. In other words, crazy short minigames, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, something like that.
Yay, because...
I don't know. We have good luck this not happening.
The future is so, looks good in terms of what's possible in making games, but the reality of the businesses and how we're going to be sold, everything just keeps getting shittier and shittier. And people are optimistic. They're like, oh, I can't get that because people will resist, but people are stupid.
Well, this was filed 3 years ago, so maybe it won't happen still.
Well, what that means is they've had 2 years to think about ways to throw it into their next stuff, which is scary. Because I sure as hell don't want the PS4 to start looking like the Xbox 360 does now.
Hell no.
You know what I mean? And people, that's not impossible to happen.
You know what is possible? They're going to rip all the color out of Max Payne 3 with the new Noir mode in the August 28th upgrade.
How bored are they? Want to make an extra level, another storyline? No, f*** it. Let's just make it gray.
Hey kids, you want a Noir mode for every game? Go into your television settings and turn saturation to 0.
They've got to do something because Max Payne 3 was got a good rating and everything, but its sales are nowhere near what they expected them to be.
I just seriously don't understand what the point is. I mean, if you really wanted to play a game in black and white, you can change your television settings.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand what they did. Like, I'm sure that they did some sort of shading effect or whatever to make it black and white, but what about all the people who colored that game in?
Yeah, those people.
All the effort that went into all that kind of stuff, they're just going to make it black and white. They're like, you know what? You guys doesn't mean
Pantone says, F*** you, Rockstar.
They shipped them over to Liverpool Studios to work for a week.
So would this be the 50 Shades of Grey Max Payne 3?
You know what? I think that would actually sell copies.
If they replace the dialogue with stuff out of the book.
Oh my god. What was one of them? Tuna
Bald-headed
fish tears?
mayonnaise cannon.
God. That just explains you.
It's funny because he does look like the dude from Max Payne. This is crazy.
Dave's going to use that. Let's see if he can spell mayonnaise
just name
right.
The episode Bald-Headed Mayonnaise Cannon.
Let's see if he can spell mayonnaise right. All right, the GTA 5 hype machine is
not
start.
on this podcast either, by the way.
You messed me up. The GTA 5 hype machine is starting. Rockstar is starting to sprinkle the internet with a smattering of supposedly in-game screenshots that look freaking amazing to be in-game screenshots. So they're either crazy high-end PCs or next-gen console screenshots or not screenshots at all. But they've shown some cars, bicycle, parachuting, a couple screens of people playing tennis. The graphic engine that they're using, if that's in engine, looks pretty stunning. But we've gone from hearing nothing to having, I think, 5 or 6 screenshots leaked over the past 2 days. So somebody started something.
I don't know. Now that I've played Sleeping Dogs, I'm less interested in all the stuff they can put in it versus how good's the driving going to be, how good's the fighting going to be, how good's the shooting going to be. Because all the mindless activity type in the world isn't going to make me like the next GTA. Because the last one, I played through the storyline and I never picked it up again.
Pac-Man, let me ask you this. In Sleeping Dogs, can you run over like 5 guys while you're on a date? Like 5 pedestrians, and then she's like, "Oh, I had a great time, thank you." You know, and your car's all messed up. Like, does it have that kind of interaction in Sleeping Dogs? Because that's one of the things that annoyed me about.
Well, I mean, if you've got a date in the car and you go all crazy reckless, she'll start freaking out, and she's like, "What the f*** are you doing?" and whatnot. But she won't. You can regain her favor pretty easily. Most of the girls you're with in Sleeping Dogs aren't of a high caliber. A high moral caliber.
So unlike GTA, where that's one of the things, it just takes you out of the element. You're having a great time in the game, and you just run over street signs and people, and you just kill mass amounts.
Well, but in Sleeping Dogs, if you kill people or destroy property or whatever, you lose police experience. Like you're penalized in a very small way, but you are penalized.
If you kill somebody on the side of the road, you just lose police experience. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just like real life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, all right, cool. Love it.
But I mean, GTA is going to have to step up the core mechanics of their game because, it's going to look better than Sleeping Dogs, but is it going to have the gameplay that's better? Because the last one wasn't a huge leap over, the previous GTA that came out. So, and I don't know. I hope their main character is more appealing than Nico Bellic was.
Now, are you saying GTA 4 wasn't a big improvement over Vice City? Or no, I guess it'd be San Andreas.
Well, I mean, it had more stuff and it looked better, but in terms of the shooting and the driving and actually running around and doing stuff, it was just wasn't anything special.
Okay, I have actually heard a lot of people complain that they've missed aspects of San Andreas in GTA 4. So,
I mean, San Andreas is by far the best Grand Theft Auto, because in San Andreas you had the extras were stuff you liked, being able to get all the tattoos, working out till you were huge, or getting really, really fat. And the story was, in my opinion, San Andreas' story was the best GTA story so far. Nico Bellic was, it wasn't entertaining to me, I guess.
It was slow. It was such a slow build-up. That's basically...
Well, it wasn't even just slow. I didn't give a shit about Nico the entire time. And there's only so many mindless activities that you can do. There's reasons, just because it's on my head, that I like Sleeping Dogs, is that collectibles and all that little extra side stuff, it all gave you something for doing it. You don't just pick it up and I got it. You get some health, or you get some money, or you get some points. You get something for doing all the little extras in the game instead of it just being a couple bucks in the bank.
Speaking of getting something for doing the little extras, our favorite LulzSec member Sabu, who turned FBI informant,
who turned rat, is what he did.
He turned FBI informant. He's pled guilty to 12 counts of violating federal law, looking at a maximum of 124 years. He's been helping so much that they've given him a 6-month reprieve before sentencing because he's being so cooperative. And by cooperative, I mean creating a large crowd of other hackers that probably want to choke him to death with their bare hands.
Yeah, I don't think he should go unpunished, but if he does go to prison, he's definitely put a target on himself.
What were you going to say, Frost?
It's like everybody else is. I mean, the guy's going for 124 years in prison. What other option do you have besides ratting everybody out to get out?
Well, the thing is, if you know you're going to prison either way, do you want to go to prison as a rat, or do you want to go to prison as not a rat?
You'd go to prison without. I would rather go there. I mean, I don't know. I would probably just keel over as well. I mean, to be honest, I would just be like, listen, let's cut a deal. Let's see what we can get out of everything, and hopefully everybody else can cut a deal too.
If he cut a deal where he's not getting any jail time, then yeah, he's being smart. But if he's still going to have to go to jail, even though it's some crappy hacker stuff, all someone in prison's got to know is that guy spent the last year cooperating with the authorities to help catch other criminals. That's not going to make you popular. That makes you one above pedophiles in the prison hierarchy.
It's not like you're freaking, you're ratting on some freaking, mafia or anything like that. Like this is you're ratting on a bunch of people all over the world that hardly even know your real name. You go to
prison and they get told that you helped the cops or whoever catch people for the last year of your life. So you spent the last year helping them catch people who are also in jail. You're not going to be popular. It doesn't matter if it's just hacking stuff or not.
I mean, these guys spend a living in front of a computer, not in a weight room. They're all going to be worried about getting their asses raped in jail. I don't think they're all going to be going after one guy. And
I can't see him being a really buff dude.
Yeah, exactly. I think I don't think they're all manly enough. If they were, they wouldn't have to hide behind computers and like that. I'm just saying that like if they're going to go to jail, if you're going to rat somebody out, these are the kind of people you want to rat out.
So you can relate to that then, Frost. He also is unemployed.
Well, not really. He's working for the man now.
He's not getting paid for it.
He's working for the man. He's way more employed than I am.
See, you need to roll over on somebody, Frost. That's what you need to do.
That's how I got in this. No, that was a really bad. That doesn't make any sense. I was trying to go sleeping with somebody.
It's like, what just came out of my mouth? I don't even understand.
I don't know, man. I'm just having one of those days.
Let's talk about the cluster that was on live last week.
People gave me shit for saying it wasn't going to last, and guess what? It's going to die.
It was weird.
It's sort of alive right now, but it's basically dead.
I'm surprised On Live lasted longer than BlackBerry. I mean, BlackBerry outlived On Live. I thought RIM was going to be dead last year.
Well, basically what happened was On Live has been working since, I think, 2009 is when they rolled out with their cloud gaming suite, or whatever you want to call it. Last year, they really made a big push at PAX. For all you were there, they were giving people the On Live micro console and a controller just for waiting in line.
You got a few of them.
They gave away thousands of them. And I told people that I was around that this seemed to me like their do or die push, that they were trying to make it, or this was going to be it, because that was a crazy expense. This thing sold for $100, and they were just giving them away. So completely out of the blue last week, rumors were like they laid off their entire staff. They're closing down effective immediately. Well, over the next 24 hours, more details rolled out, and it sounded like they were faced with, holy crap, we cannot maintain our outgo with our income. So the rumor was it cost them $5 million a month to operate On Live in the state that it was. So they were forced to look at some kind of bankruptcy type procedure, and what they did is they transferred all the assets into one person's name. That person sold the assets to an unknown entity who basically had the option to hire back anybody that was previously let go. They hired back less than half of the original staff. And they claim that it's not going to affect any of their ongoing ventures. Anybody with an account can still access their games. They can still play. The service shouldn't stop ever. But there's some interesting stuff that came out about this. They had 8,000 servers leased for their service. Leased. Like I don't know who they were going through, whether it was like Amazon or Dell or some data center that had 8,000 servers ready there to be played on by customers. But their average peak was 1,800, so less than a quarter of what they had leased.
That's some Kurt Schilling type bullshit math right there.
So they were committed to paying for those servers, yet less than a quarter of them were being used, even at the busiest times. So it will be interesting to see how this restructuring goes. Everybody that had stock in it, it wasn't a publicly traded company, but people had internal private stock. All of it was instantly valueless. Nobody got any it's just instantly, boom, you're unemployed. A few of you will have offer letters for new positions if you opt to take them.
There was just too many things that aren't practical for a service like that. I mean, something like that may work in 5 or 6 years as broadband becomes more common in more and more places. But there's just just bandwidth and internet speed of all the different people they were trying to target. Right there was one of the most simplistic problems they had, and then you have the fact that they're competing against everyone else at the same time, and not doing a very compelling job of it. I mean, it's sorry people lost their jobs, but
one of the comments that came out of this was that OnLive recently received some or got some patents approved for online gaming, and I can't remember the quote. I don't have it in the agenda, but basically they were quoted as saying that they could sue the out of Gaikai. So it will be interesting to see if these people swooped in at the 11th hour to financially keep OnLive running so they could have a part in what's inevitably going to be a legal showdown between OnLive and whatever patents they got.
You know what?
And Sony
OnLive should have partnered with one of the big game companies and done what we talked about before, because there's a big problem with streaming games and the OnLive setup. But if they had partnered with Sony or Microsoft or some PC manufacturer or Steam or someone to stream you demos, you know what I mean? Like have it attached to whatever bigger company.
Mm-hmm.
But I would really, really, really like to be able to stream some demos and not have to download 4 gigs or 3 gigs of a demo just to find out it's a really crappy game, and have that huge amount of data, taken away from my internet bill each month. Like, that's a lot for me to do just to get a demo that I might not even like. Whereas if I could stream it and it had a connection through the PS3 or whatever, that would be something that I could see could have made them money. But by trying to be sort of the in-between entity, I mean, it was just doomed to fail.
So I had a thought. What's stopping Facebook from buying him?
Intelligence.
You might have, huh?
I said intelligence. I don't know.
Oh, well, I'm just saying that like that would put them in a pretty good situation.
Well, I mean, Facebook could certainly afford them, but I mean, everybody should enter into a business based on business principles. Are you going to get more out of it than you put into it? OnLive's not there. I mean, they would be a charity case to take on. You would be pumping money into that. And I'm not sure that, it just depends on what these guys at I think it was the Laudner Group that stepped up to finance them. HTC, the phone company, they had previously invested $40 million in OnLive before this restructuring, and they're just screwed out of their deal, basically. Sayonara, $40 million. Good luck signing up new investors.
I mean, if you look at how all the technology is going in advertising and selling products and digital distribution, everything. I mean, it's such a goddamn cluster minefield out there that nothing. I mean, the people who come out ahead, it's half good idea and planning and half complete luck. Like it seems to be.
I
you really
so.
just don't know where the market's going to back you up and where it's going to just crucify you.
I can't imagine what their
Rothbart
bandwidth bills would be.
You learned that example pretty quickly.
I'm sure there's a joke there. What are you getting at?
I'm getting at the game you try to invest in but didn't pan out. You lost your money.
The Kickstarter thing? Well, it's not over yet. But no, that's not the same thing at all. With Kickstarter, if you pledge money and they don't meet their goal, you don't pay. You only pay if they meet their goal, and if they meet their goal, then that's good, because what you wanted to support got enough support. That Project Gianna that I talked about a few weeks ago.
So you didn't spend any money?
I didn't spend any money yet. No, I only spend money if they make their goal. That's why Kickstarter's cool.
So, Frawls, that's another swing and a miss, buddy.
Yep, that's 2. You're almost out.
I should just put Esmeralda on for the rest of the episode.
Do you have her on speed dial?
I don't.
You guys do, apparently.
All right, this
Frawls, you can't make it tonight? No worries. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Like, before, it was devastating. You're a jerk. You need to, tell us in advance. Now I can tell you, right before. You're like, it's cool. No worries.
That's okay. We do have her on standby. All I got to do is press the red button.
Yep. Yeah, I thought it was pink. Nope, not pink. Never mind. It's red. IGN put out a top 25 list of PS3 games that I always get a kick out of these, but this one I got a special kick out.
IGN.
And they just
IGN.
they keep driving home that you can't spell ignorant without IGN. But so I'm going to read through this list really quickly. It doesn't get interesting until about the top 10, and it gets really interesting in the top 1 or 2 and an omission. Starting at 25, they've got Spec Ops: The Line, which I found hilarious to be in the top 25 games. Not that it's a bad game, but if you were to toss out a few titles and say, do you think this is in the top 25 games on this platform? No way would I choose Spec Ops: The Line. Ratchet & Clank, A Crack in Time, Dead Space 2, Valkyria Chronicles, Infamous, Saints Row the Third, Vanquish, Catherine, Bioshock, Uncharted: Drake's Fortune, God of War 3, GTA 4, Little Big Planet 2, Batman: Arkham Asylum, Mass Effect 3. Starting the top 10, we've got Red Dead Redemption. If you're allowing multi-platform titles in this list...
Yeah, this doesn't count.
Resistance 3, which I find interesting to be above Red Dead Redemption. Batman: Arkham City. A lot of people love that game. Not surprised to see it there. Infamous 2, good game. Heavy Rain, kind of surprised. Portal 2, Fallout 3, Mass Effect 2, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves is the number 2 game, and the number 1 game, Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception.
That's
what
weird.
In the mother of the well, I mean, before we get to what I know Rothbart wants to say, how in the is Uncharted 2 behind Uncharted 3? That don't make no sense.
It should not be. I don't know anybody that thinks that. Uncharted 3 is a great game. Uncharted 2, I think, was a better game.
Way better. And what was missing from that list, Roth?
Solid Snake. Metal Gear Solid 4 is not in the 25 top games on the PS3 when IGN themselves gave it a 10. A 10 out of 10. And it's not in the top 25. Spec Ops: The Line is better than Metal Gear Solid 4.
Bull. I mean that list has as much merit as something you'd see on the Spike TV Video Game Awards. I mean, it's complete bull.
How do you have Vanquish over Heavenly Sword?
Yeah, where is Heavenly Sword? I mean,
that
game wouldn't have sold good when it came out, but once the patch came out, that game is freaking awesome. Vanquish is good, but look at how many multi-platform games are in that list.
Catherine.
A lot. This is not even a top 20. I felt like they started off pretty well, and then we can't think of anything else.
Where's any of the kill zones in that list?
Where's Bioshock? How come it's not on there?
Oh, it is on there.
Bioshock is on there.
This list is too big.
I mean, the one game on there that's multi-platform that makes sense to me is Portal 2 was the best console version. That makes sense. I mean, it was better on PS3 than it was on 360. Or was it even on 360?
It was, but it didn't have Steamworks. You couldn't play cross-platform. And
yeah, so we got the better version there. But Metal Gear Solid 4 is... I mean, even if you're not a Metal Gear Solid 4 fan, you have to admit that is a very good game, and it should at least be in the top 5, if not the top 3. If not, I think in Rothbart and I's opinion, battling for number 1.
And this list just came out, and Metal Gear Solid 4 just got the patch. It was in the focus. It was in the limelight. Everybody was like, oh, I gotta play this again. They gave it a 10, yet it's still not on the list.
Yeah, where's Killzone and where's Gran Turismo in that list? Gran Turismo was one of the best-selling games on the PS3, and it's not in that list. What the
Yeah, that's crazy.
What
yeah,
in the mother of the
Anyway. Anyway, the next topic I want to get to. The Vita sold just 400,000 units in the last fiscal quarter, bringing the total to 1 million since launch week. I'm not sure if that includes launch week or if that's the figure just after launch week. And the part I find hilarious is that they're still forecasting 10 million units sold by the end of the year, which, even if you're generous and give them till the end of the fiscal year, that's 6 months, basically.
Yeah, that's not going to happen, especially with, what should have been your big Vita system seller looks like dog. And I'm talking about the, was it Black Ops Declassified?
Dog.
Well, seriously, all they had to do was not just f*** it up, and it would have sold PlayStation Vitas, and they couldn't even do that. Activision has zero faith in the Vita at all.
You're asking too much, Rawls.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, are you kind of are you happy the fact that you bought your Vita still?
Me?
I mean, you tried to get me to buy a Vita when it first came out. Like, I mean, seriously. Oh, you got a tax return. Oh, you got this much money. You should go buy a Vita. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm going to wait to see if anybody else buys it.
You have never been one to be accused of making a ton of really smart decisions. So I figure if you're going to blow your money on something silly, I might as well at least get you to get a Vita and have you be able to talk about something. Even if it's bitching, it'll be on topic on the show.
I complain about spending $300.
Do you really want me to discuss what you spent $1,000 on?
No.
Yeah, okay, then shut up.
Burn!
Anyway,
it was fun. That was one night.
Real doll.
Fun.
All right.
Wasn't $1,000 worth of fun, though, was it?
No, nothing's $1,000 of fun.
The Vita patch giving us PlayStation 1 classics is coming out next week, and Sony has announced over 100 will be available. I'm not sure how that's going to jive with my collection. I have about 30 of them. I'm guessing I'll have one that works. But good for them, I guess. We'll see how it works.
Yeah, because that's going to sell PlayStation Vitas.
That's exactly what was needed. We've only sold 400,000. God damn it, release 100 PlayStation 1 classics for it. That'll help.
And we'll back that up with a golf game and a Call of Duty game that looks like we should have released it on the PSP. And we're going to deny that we're having any thoughts about bringing Gran Turismo to the Vita, and Monster Hunter is probably not coming to Vita anytime soon either.
I hope Call of Duty blows everybody out of the water. I hope everybody's, this is amazing. Like, Pac-Man's completely off base.
But hey, Pac-Man, they took PlayStation, the official magazine, and put the digital edition on the Google Play Store, so I can download the magazine and read about these games on my phone.
On your Vita.
Wow, so you can watch someone shill, like, blatantly on the go now.
Well, it's still a magazine. There's no watching anything. You have to read.
Well, you're reading it, but I mean, like, if you go and you look at the reviews and stuff that come, like, anything that says the official magazine or whatever, I mean, it's
bias.
Unless you get, like, you know, insider details about specific features of a game. I mean, there's not really anything in there but yes men type stuff.
Yeah,
like Nintendo Power.
I checked it out because the first issue was 99 cents.
Man, Nintendo Power was like the craziest mind ever. They were successful enough that they got people to buy the Power Glove. Even though if in today's world the Power Glove would have never got off the ground because anyone who touched it would be like, this is the stupidest thing ever. But
I'll take two.
Nintendo Power convinced us all that the Power Glove was the
The movie The Wizard sold me on the Power Glove.
Nintendo Power shutting down after 24 years. Sad.
Yep.
It's not sad.
It's sad.
Inevitable.
It's sad. Print magazines are dead, yeah, but it's still kind of sad. All right, we're running late, so I definitely want to touch on this topic here. We don't cross-promote much with other gaming communities, but it's not by choice. It's just we're lazy and introverts. But you have to go to Destructoid and read Jim Sterling's article called How Xbox Live is Blatantly Better Than PSN. You will be impressed at how hilariously absurd and funny that article is. Intentionally, don't flame him. He did an excellent job. The sarcasm is 10 layers thick. It is funny. If you're a kid, don't go read it.
And it's not short either. I mean, he really, really puts the screws to all of the good stuff. It's so funny. And I retweeted it on Twitter, and I'm already getting like angry Xbox fans like giving me. They're like, "Oh, he's so biased and ignorant, and like, what kind of journalism is this?" Like, I mean, it's just crazy.
Don't give it away, man. It's actually pretty smart. I wasn't going to read it until you were like, "You have to read it."
The thing is, it's sarcastic, but it's not too far off the mark, which is why it's so funny.
So go check it out. Froz, we're running late. Give us a rumors intro. We got 2 rumors.
How am I going to do this now?
Do your Asian racial slur thing.
Yeah, we need more.
I don't know if it's a slur. It's just an imitation. Like, why am I all of a sudden racist because I'm imitating? Like, someone can imitate me. I'm sure there's people in Asia imitating me right now.
I'm sure there's not.
Like, oh, look at me. I'm a white man. Oh, yeah.
That sounds like Butthead.
Oh, whatever, Davis. Anyway, so, yeah. You want, all right, Asian style. It's just. That was all right. That I felt actually pretty not even like that didn't feel comfortable, to be honest.
Yeah, that was right up there with
blatantly stereotypical. I'm sorry.
You're not sorry.
Yeah, man, that was like one step up from making like a Korean convenience store owner joke or something.
It wouldn't be a new PlayStation model if they weren't pushing some new technology. The latest rumor says PlayStation 4 is supposed to support the 4K video standard, making all of our high-def TVs look like poop. It's totally believable. You look back in the day,
get to buy a whole new television.
The original PlayStation, despite what people may think, usually the add-on features of products like that aren't very good. But if you talk to stereophiles or audiophiles, the original PlayStation disc drive CD player was a high-fidelity CD playing device. You could get top-notch quality CD playback from that. The PlayStation 2, a lot of people's first DVD player. PlayStation 3, a lot of people, that's their first Blu-ray player. What are they going to push with PlayStation 4? This sounds totally believable to me. So
yeah, it does sound believable. And not only does it sound believable, but that actually sounds like a feature that isn't gimmicky. Like, I would actually like that because it's been a long time since they got a new monitor or TV or something. So it's going to happen in the next, however long.
What if they actually called it the PlayStation 4K?
Then I would smack somebody on the back of the head like they do on NCIS.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
NCIS just keeps going and going until it finally just dies away like Jag.
It has not died away, and don't you dare compare it to Jag.
Man, they should go out like a great show should, and just pick their own time to end the show and go out that way. Don't wait until they finally get around to counseling him, and then it's just like Gibbs is like 96 years old, and McGee's really fat now, and
Pac-Man's a fan, I can tell. All right. Bitter Pac-Man. The next one, motion capture actor Eric Bossick claims that mocap work is in progress and being done right now for the next installment of the Metal Gear Solid franchise, not to be confused with Metal Gear Rising, completely different franchise, but says there's still a lot of work to be done before completion, and he expects the game to launch during the summer of 2013 at the earliest. And my guess is...
Yeah, that doesn't really mean and I doubt it's coming out in 2013.
I doubt that too, but it sounds completely feasible. Kojima's working on something. He's got a brand spanking new game engine, and he's got an announcement coming up. Was it at the end of this month?
What does this dude know about video games? He walks for a living.
Farles, you should,
like I said before,
you should be able to relate to the guy. He has a ton of balls on him all the time.
Just that's like your dream job.
It's like your dream job. It's like your unemployment status. It's like I just sit around with balls on me all day.
I thought this was supposed to be for motion cap.
You cannot use testicles for motion capture. I think that sounds true. I don't believe the 2013. I mean, he says it the earliest, so technically if it comes out in 2017, he's still right.
Yeah, but that's like a Michael Pachter type prediction.
Yeah.
If it comes out, yeah, he's always right.
I'm going to say some vague like a fortune teller, and if I happen to be right, I'm a genius because I analyze
He just wanted his name said on the internets.
By you.
By me. And to talk about balls all over him. All right, I think we all agree pretty much Metal Gear Solid 5 is happening.
You want to talk about the Nico power grip for your Vita? Speaking of great decisions.
Hey, you guys already dogged on the power glove. I wasn't going to bring up the power grip. All right, we got to get to the shout-outs and then to the bonus content. I want to give a shout-out to the Jack of Hearts, or the Jack of Farts, however you want to say it, from the Big Red Barrel community, Zombie Sauerkraut, who I think Fralls likes your name from the Big Red Barrel community. Go Fralls.
I want to get a special shout-out to Rusty Cyborg from the BRBC. Is this Bob or B.O.B. or just Bob? Bob. Okay, Bob from the BRBC.
Did you just seriously have trouble pronouncing
I'm just
B-O-B?
saying, it's not that creative. And I mean, he's followed by Canned Ass.
Your name is Joe. You cannot dog on Bob.
Yeah, but you just made fun of one of our fans in the shout out to our fans. I think you're missing the point of the shout outs.
Like, how many people named Bob listen to the show? And everybody's like, holy shit, I got a shout out. I didn't ask for one.
Wait, was it for me, Bob, or was it for my cousin, B.O.B.?
Either one gets a shout out, which I think is fantastic. And then you get canned ass from the BRBC. Way to go, Bob. Way to go.
Canned ass.
Pac-Man.
I'd like to give a shout out to Shax from the Big Red Barrel community. Shout out to 1 Ton from the Big Red Barrel community. I don't want to know what it's 1 ton of. Shout out to Will Yun Lee. Wei Shen, shout out to you, dude. And shout out to Surf Hero for endlessly campaigning to convince me that pay to win is great.
50shadesgenerator.com.
He's a much more optimistic gentleman than I am. I think the future looks incredibly crappy for video games and media, and he thinks things will balance out and get good. I don't agree, but...
And we'll see you next... Hey, we will not see you next week. We're going to have a week off because of PAX. Pac-Man will not be there. I will be there. Fralls will be there. Dave will be there. So we won't be here to record, and Dave won't be here to edit. So we will...
But I will probably be... You'll hear my voice on the Ramble, the Big Red Barrel Ramble for Transformers Fall Cybertron.
Oh, are you going to do that? That actually looks kind of fun. I want to do that one day.
You have to play the games we talk about.
Well, you need spare time, Fralls.
I have one.
Go in your closet, dig out your PS3, find all the cords, plug them in, then go to your roommate, ask for a game.
Update your firmware.
Oh my god.
Update your firmware.
All right, we gotta go. We gotta get to the bonus content because we've got good topics to cover.
The bonus content.
All right, we got a good bonus topic. Yeah.
All right, so we will see you guys in 2
Fralls
weeks.
in your mouth.
September.
Catch you on the flip side.
Hasta la vista.
You and your ears are quite welcome for the podcasting goodness that you just heard. Why not roll on over to BigRedBarel.com for more podcast, news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, BigRedBarel.com.